The Sarang helicopter display team of the Indian Air Force, one of the star attractions at Aero India this year. While displays like this thrill thousands of spectators who throng to the Yelahanka airbase, the real business of Aero India is conducted firmly on the ground. Nearly 700 companies are participating at Aero India this year, from aviation giants like Boeing to tiny component companies who believe India will remain one of the world's largest aviation markets for some time to come. 78 overseas delegations are here as well. 1.25 lakh square meters of space is being occupied at the Air Force's Yelahanka airbase for all the delegations and their displays. Behind me, the Pilatus PC-7, the latest entrant to the Indian Air Force. It's a basic trainer aircraft. It fulfills a basic requirement for the Indian Air Force, training cadets before they eventually get to fly supersonic jets like the Sukhoi 30. The Pilatus PC-7, one of several aircraft being showcased at this mammoth air show, widely considered the premier air show in Asia.
This is a new modern technology equipped aircraft. We'll be able to train them on technological aspects like handling of modern systems.
But to make the transition to high-performance jets, pilots need to migrate from the Pilatus to a high-performance trainer such as the Hawk. Eventually, the IAF Surya Kiran display team will have their own Hawk aircraft.
Well, because that will be the third aerobatics team that fly Hawks, because we've got the Red Arrows you mentioned. We've also got the Royal Saudi Air Force who fly the Hawks. This will be interesting in many ways because it will also be the most modern Hawk flying in formation, so in demonstration. So it will be a great opportunity for India to have the most modern display.
Over the next few days, the skies over the Yelahanka airbase near Bangalore will roar to the sound of aircraft. Some of the world's largest, fastest and most sophisticated jets will compete for airspace with tiny aircraft from around the world for a slice of the action at Aero India 2013.
Russia and India continue to collaborate in the sphere of combat aviation, and taking the long-standing cooperation forward, the Sukhoi Holding Company, a part of Russia's United Aircraft Corporation, and the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited have joined their efforts and resources to create an advanced fighter that will provide air and ground combat superiority and has high tactical capability. Welcome to the 5th generation fighter aircraft, or the FGFA, which brings with it new state-of-the-art technologies including stealth. Although the FGFA is largely based on the under-test Sukhoi T-50 Pakfa, it will come with modifications requested by the Indian Air Force.
Well, I think it is one of the perfect examples of cooperation, since it's a next day high technology, not today's, because the aircraft is in Russia is under test program, and since with this we mean to say that we share technology of the future with India. I think it's, again, I repeat, it's an excellent example of transfer of technology and cooperation in manufacture, industrial cooperation.
UAC has built 4 prototypes of the 5th generation T-50 fighter, which are undergoing operational tests. But the Indian T-50 variant would be built in double-seat configuration, expected to start testing in 2015 and to be inducted in service only by 2022.
Frame contract for designing and co-production of 5th generation combat aircraft. We quite finished the first stage. The stage of technical design of this project, we're quite finished. There are some elements we are working going on, but we're just ready to pass to the second stage, which is another stage, general designing of this project. I should say that we are going together 50 by 50%, and no problems we see now on this stage, and we are going 100% within the framework terms and conditions of contract.
The Indian Air Force is planning to purchase as many as 144 of the 5th generation fighters, down from a projected purchase order of more than 200 aircrafts. The T-50 is intended to succeed the MiG-29 and Sukhoi 27. The T-50 prototype completed its first test flight in early 2010 in Russia. The first public demonstration of the fighter was in August 2011 at the International Aviation and Space Salon Mars 2011 in Zhukovsky near Moscow. A model mock-up of the new Sukhoi HAL-FG-FA was displayed at the Bangalore International Airshow Aero India 2013. The agreement on the joint development and production of 5th generation fighter aircraft was signed by Rosoboron Export and HAL in 2007 in Moscow at the 7th session of the Russian-Indian Intergovernmental Commission on Military Technical Cooperation. Indian designers say the FGFA project will provide invaluable experience in testing and certifying a heavy fighter aircraft that is bigger and more complex than the Tejas Light Combat Aircraft LCA, India's foundational aerospace achievement. Many of the T-50's technical features are classified, but specialists insist that the T-50 is ahead of its foreign peers in several important features, including maximum speed, range, thrust-to-weight ratio and maximum G-load. The T-50 is equipped with an all-new avionics complex and an advanced radar system with a phased array antenna. The machine has a maximum speed of 2,600 km per hour. Its ferry range is 4,300 km at altitudes of up to 20 km. With a maximum takeoff weight of 37 tons, the fighter is capable of carrying up to 10 tons of armaments, including the GSS cannon, guided missiles of various types and ranges, as well as precision-guided bombs. More than 10 innovative types of weapons have been developed for the Pakfa. Many have praised the Russian plane as having clear advantages over the American 5th generation planes. The T-50 uses a new aerodynamic design that minimizes heat and optical signature, and coupled with use of composite materials in 40% of the entire structure, makes the plane virtually invisible to radars and ensures effective protection from air defense weapons. The fighter is also equipped with the active electronically scanned phase radar, a key Indian Air Force requirement, coupled with the 2 onboard computers that ensures target detection at a range of up to 400 km, tracking of up to 60 air targets and shooting at 16 targets at a time. Its radio warfare systems and infrared reduction systems effectively protect the plane from air defense weapons. The machine is powered by 2 AL-41F turbofans with an integrated digital control system featuring 2D thrust vectoring, which makes the T-50 superior in air-to-air combat. Another advantage of the T-50 over its peers is its unusually high fuel capacity and ensures longer ranges than its contemporary fighters. India is expected to have a 25% work share, which may not sound much, but it is essentially obtaining the experience in developing complex military platforms that Indian scientists are looking into, and this will certainly enable the Indian Air Force to secure Indian skies with such lethal weapons platform at its disposal. The Indian Air Force is very well experienced in operating military transport aircraft of various configurations, from light transporters like the Aeros to heavy lift cargo planes like the IL-76. But the medium lift capability of the Indian Air Force has been a lagging. This has pushed the Indian Air Force to rush for a purchase of the C-130J Super Hercules from the US aircraft maker Lockheed Martin. But there seems to be a permanent solution to the medium lift question, and the light from the horizon is the multi-role transport aircraft, or the MTA. The effort to design and develop a multi-role transport aircraft by India and Russia received a significant boost with the signing of shareholders agreement for setting up a joint venture company in September 2012. This agreement stipulates that the project would be a 50-50 venture between the countries. The joint venture was formed between Hindustan Aeronautics Limited and the Russian partners, namely United Aircraft Corporation and Rosoboron Export, to co-develop and co-produce multi-role transport aircraft. The total development cost is around $600 million to be equally shared by both the sides.
While the scheme of cooperation with the multi-role transport aircraft is setting up joint venture with joint capital 50-50% each of the sides, and then this joint venture orders to the Russian side to design and develop and then organize mutual production in India and in Russia, the product to be bought in Russia, in India, to the first country. So multi-role aircraft cooperation is a joint venture which commands, administers the project.
The aircraft will be designed keeping in mind both the Russian and Indian requirements. HAL and UACTA have begun the initial design work in Moscow, and the HAL design team, consisting of 30 designers, has been positioned at Moscow since October. This interesting collaboration will certainly bring together the best minds in the aerospace industry of both countries.
The same, we just the first stage of planning and designing, and we created a joint venture entity. We passed all the bureaucracy procedure, both sides, and now we just are working practically on executing this contract.
The initial design phase, or the IDP, will be the toughest 10 months the team will face, as it will involve designing the exteriors, which have to be aerodynamic and will need to be compatible with the engine size and other avionics. It will also deal with designing basic interiors for the appropriate space. The initial design phase will be followed by a detailed design phase contract when the design of the plane will be finalized. As proposed in the agreement, the aircraft will have to be designed in such a way that it can operate in harsh wintry conditions of Russia and also face the heat and humidity of India's Thar desert.
We're extremely happy that our long-awaited project has started. According to the intergovernmental agreement signed in 2007, we have reached a very important point in our joint venture. We really have started a real work connected to the problems which are stipulated by a PDP contract. First of all, I would like to thank the Indian side that they have sent here some specialists which have a very great level of their experience, and we do hope that we will fulfill all our obligations and will come to a success together, and will open a new page in our mutual cooperation with the Indian side.
The MTA recently designated as the IL-214 will feature a high-wing monoplane design, glazed-in nose, T-shaped tail empennage, semi-monocoque fuselage, a cargo winch and rollers comprising cargo handling equipment. It will be made up of sophisticated aluminum alloys and composite materials. The stepped cockpit will be equipped with 6 multifunctional displays along with the 2 head-up indicators. It can accommodate 3 flight crew members, including a pilot, co-pilot and flight engineer. The aircraft will also boast a rearward ramp to load or unload freight and carry out airdrop missions. The 13.8 meter long, 3.45 meter wide and 3.4 meter high spacious cabin will carry 18.5 tons of cargo, 82 soldiers or 74 paratroopers. Approximately 60 severely wounded soldiers can be accommodated in the cabin. The IL-214 will be the only medium transport aircraft powered by 2 PD-14 turbofan engines designed and built in Russia, which will give it a top speed higher than most transport aircraft of its class. The engines are impounded to top-mounted wings. Each engine can generate a maximum thrust of 6,000 pounds, and the fuel consumption is 10% to 15% lower compared to that of conventional turbofan engines. This would help the aircraft operate in high altitude areas like Leh and Ladakh, where the air is insufficient for heavy aircraft. All in all, the multi-role transport aircraft is a boon for the Indian Air Force's medium lift transport capability, and as always serves as a shining example of Indo-Russian cooperation moving from just buyer-seller relationship to an actual development partnership.
I wish all success to the organizers and participants of Aero India 2013. Jai Hind.
We have on our show Mr. Mikhail Pogosyan, the President of UAC, to give us a brief overview of what the UAC's involvement has been and will be in the future. Thank you for joining us on the show, sir. My first question to you would be, how has the Russian involvement in Indian defense industry evolved over the past few years?
Широкое сотрудничество в России и Индии. Это сотрудничество касается как лицензионного производства самолетов Су-37 КАИ, модернизации МиГ-29, поставки самолетов МиГ-29К для военно-морских сил Индии, так и перспективных проектов, таких как самолет пятого поколения, многоцелевой МЖФА и совместная программа по мультирол транспорту аэрофлота. Все это вместе как хорошие перспективы для развития нашего сотрудничества с ХАЛом и с другими предприятиями промышленности Индии по требованиям индийских заказчиков.
How big has Aero India become a platform to showcase one's products, in your opinion?
Ну, я считаю, что салон Aero India постоянно развивается, и те количество самолетов, которые сегодня представлены здесь, говорит о том, что индийский рынок и индийская промышленность, заказчики индийские смотрят не только на текущую перспективу, но и на будущее. И я в этом вижу хороший знак с учетом тех перспектив, которые есть для развития авиации в Индии.
The BrahMos has been an excellent example of Indo-Russian cooperation. Could you please give us an overview into UAC's joint ventures with Indian defense sector companies?
Я считаю, что проект Су-37 КАИ вполне сравним с BrahMos'ом. Сегодня планируется произвести в Индии более 270 самолетов. И такие проекты, как проект пятого поколения МТА, это проекты, которые, с моей точки зрения, по своему масштабу не меньше, чем проект BrahMos. Ну, наверное, в будущем есть хорошие перспективы в интеграции проекта Су-37 КАИ и проекта BrahMos при модернизации самолетов под использование этих ракет в воздушном варианте.
In Aero India 2013, what are the main products that UAC is focusing on?
Ну, мы представляем здесь на стенде как продукты в области военной, так и гражданской авиационной техники. Здесь мы представляем программы Су-37 КАИ, МиГ-29, МиГ-29К, на стенде HL, Fifth Generation Project and Multi-Role Transport Aircraft. Здесь же представляются наши гражданские транспортные проекты, проекты в области транспортной авиации МТА, Ил-76 и Суперджета и МС-21.
The MTA deal has fructified. Could you please let us know when the prototype variant will be out and then what would be the tentative date for the production model to come out?
Ну, я думаю, что это в районе 2017 года мы планируем начало этих испытаний, то есть потребуется несколько лет плотной работы, как бы, и где-то, но конкретные сроки будут уточнены после согласования контракта на опыт.
You have featured the Sukhoi Superjet 100 and the MC-21, which are civilian aircraft. So by this, should we understand the UAC is trying to woo the Indian civil aviation sector?
Да, мы считаем, что у нас есть хорошие перспективы кооперации не только в военном секторе и транспортном, но и в гражданском секторе. И не только с государственными предприятиями типа ХАЛа, ДРДО, но и с частными предприятиями, которые работают в гражданском секторе.
2012 has not been that positive for Indian civil aviation sector, and with Boeing and Airbus present in the sector already, which are established, what's different about the two aircraft that you are presenting?
Значит, продукты, которые мы предлагаем, являются современными разработками, внедрившими в себя большое количество новых технических решений. Эти разработки и технические решения касаются как уровня комфорта пассажиров, так и надежности систем самолета, использования композиционных материалов. И мы думаем, что при быстром расширении рынка целый ряд заказчиков увидят преимущество наших продуктов и сделают предпочтение современным продуктам по сравнению с теми, которые уже сегодня есть на рынке.
Could you please let us know as to any future joint ventures planned with Indian defense sector companies?
Мы открыты, мы строим кооперацию не на желании продать кому-то что-то, а мы строим кооперацию на выстраивании долгосрочных взаимоотношений. Поэтому мы готовы к сотрудничеству в военной области, где у нас уже есть большой опыт, и мы готовы к сотрудничеству в области гражданской экономики.
Well, most people don't answer this question, but then I would like your view on the Indian defense offsets policy, sir.
Ну, я думаю, что политика офсетная создает дополнительные предпосылки для увеличения индийской промышленности в реализацию совместных программ. Я в целом ее поддерживаю, но думаю, что создание совместных предприятий – это еще более глубокий шаг к интеграции, чем реализация офсетных программ.
Thank you for speaking to NDTV Profit, sir.
Thank you.
Спасибо.
I wish all success to the organizers and participants of Aero India 2013. Jai Hind.